If you're listening to this, welcome. It's January. We're right inside the week where every and most 90% of New Year's resolutions are failing. So if you're here, you're already ahead of most men. This is when they disappear. Why? What do we see? What does this look like? It looks like gyms empty, journals closing, vision boards collecting dust, divorce pain resurfacing, maybe looking at old photos, maybe looking at old memories. Maybe your calendar shows you some things that's bringing up a lot of hurt and pain. But here's the hard truth. Most dads don't fail because they don't want change. Every one of you want change, man. I know it. They fail because they don't understand how change actually works. It's the reason why you're here. It's the missing link. Change isn't something that's just a unicorn that drops off at certain people's houses. Change is a system. And we're going to get into that system today. I'm going to give you a few things today that changed my life from a mentor, that gave me something that he's used to help guys around the world, businesses around the world, transform their lives, transform their businesses, transform their mindsets. It's not easy, but neither is the life that you're living. Everything in life will get harder. There is nothing that will get easier. And so you're here because you're going to pick the hard way, but it's the way of you becoming the man you're created to be, the dad you're called to be, the legacy that you want to leave. So listen, if this podcast helps you stay in the fight, subscribe, leave a review. Why? It tells the algorithm to put this in front of dads who are about to quit. So you're just as much a part of this as I am. A simple click is just an incredible collection of other dads looking, hoping, seeking what to find, what to do, where to go. I want to start off with this. It's the science of why men quit. Why do men quit, man? What gets in the way of them quitting? What is it really? The brain, you got to listen. I always get into the brain stuff and I get into the data because I don't want you to think that I'm just putting out something that sounds good. You got to know the physical side of this. There's a spiritual side just as much, and there's an action side just as much. But here's what's happening in your brain. Your brain resists identity change. That's the reality of it. It resists the identity change. Familiar pain feels safer than unfamiliar growth. Let me say that again. Familiar pain feels safer than unfamiliar growth. That's why it's easier to look back into your marriage or your time with your kids. And even though it's painful, it's easier. Your dopamine drops when novelty fades, which is around 2 or 3 weeks. Essentially, that's where we're at. New Year's resolutions and the dopamine has faded. You know, the excitement of the fireworks of the new year, the 2026 has faded. We're now at that 2-3 week mark. And that's why we see people do what they do. If information changed people, then they would still be in the gym. They would still be consistent. They would never miss a day. Their mindsets would be mastered. Their dad lives would be off the charts. It's not the information. It's what you do with the information. Studies show that behavior change attempts peak in early January and they collapse by week 3, which is where we're at. Most men interpret resistance as failure instead of transition. Most men interpret resistance as failure instead of transition. It's the whole idea of when you sharpen a knife. There's friction. There is sparks. It's not easy. Nobody likes to do it, but it's ultimately how that knife gets sharper so it can do what it's supposed to do, so that you can do what you're supposed to do in your business, your finances, your home, with your kids. We are carving you out. And the metaphor that I've had, and I've said it several times, and I'm going to say it again. You are just in the way that when they asked Michelangelo, how the heck did he carve out the statue of David out of that rock? And he simply said, I chiseled away everything that didn't need to be there. Dads, you need to take that in, man. You have things that need to be chiseled off. And you know what? That's hard. It's painful to do that. It sucks, man. It's easier to just, I just hope it'll happen. Just natural erosion. No, natural erosion. You don't have time for natural erosion. You've got a few years left of some of the most productive years of your life. So I'm going to get into this framework. It's called the Gates of Change. And I'm going to share it with you. It's something I share with all my clients, and some of the clients we've used it and created more than $100 million with it. We've created dads that have unbreakable bonds with their kids. They crush it. Literally, they have schedules, they have balance, they have business. I have dads that are using this to master their mindsets so that when they have these negative thoughts, spiraling days, they already know what to do. They know how to change. They know how to transform. So I'm going to share this with you. And remember, more information is not going to help. I don't need over obese mindset individuals. We want six-pack cold killers of action as dads. That's what we want. So it's you looking at the information and saying, okay, I am going to use this to my advantage and to my life. That is the reason why I'm doing this. Okay? That's what you have to commit to. So Gates of Change works like this. The first is awareness. So there's 4 A's, awareness, and I'll go through the rest. But you have got to get the first 3 A's completed. They have to be sequenced, the first 3, in order for you to take number 4. And I'll say it like this. I'll give the story that was easiest for me to understand was when I saw a buddy of mine, he's in Australia, and he's been on this trek for losing weight. And he wanted to lose 40, 45 pounds. Great. Awesome. He told me on the phone, he had shared with me that he was there. He had already dropped the 40 and he had abs. I was like, bro, what? I know who he is. I know what he does. He's a chef. Like, dude eats all the time. What? That's what I said. I said, bro, show me the freaking picture. Literally sends me a photo. I'm like, bro, this is amazing. I said, what did you do? Right? And so let me pause there, because anytime any of your friends have lost a significant amount of weight, you ask them, what did you do? As if you don't know what they did. Because we have enough information about losing weight to understand how to lose weight, right? Don't eat sugar. Don't eat bread. Don't eat too much. Go work out. Get active. Take steps. All that stuff. And so I'm going to break this down with that story. Because when he revealed, obviously he lost the weight. He revealed that this is kind of what he was doing. There was some components in what he did that was the reason why he was able to lose the weight. So when we talk about transformation for you, let's bring it into the dad zone. Let's say you want to make more money. Let's say revenue is an issue for you. Maybe you've had to sell some things and your finances are in shambles. Great. This will work for you. Let's say you want to create a system with your kids so that you're not guessing if you're a good dad. You know you're a good dad because you can look at the progress of what you're doing. This will work for you. Let's say it's your mindset. You're in a blender. You're getting thoughts about your ex, or you're missing things and you're missing the old times, or maybe you're missing love in your life. This will work for that. If you want to change, this framework is the way to change. If you do the work, it works. So the first one is awareness. So I'll use my buddy. His name is Chatty. So I'll use it for him. First is awareness. The first A is awareness. So most men never get past this gate. Most men are not aware of what they need to change. They have blind spots and they don't know it. And let me tell you a blind spot that I see the most common for dads. Here's the easiest blind spot. Asking for help. If you're a divorced dad, then you need help. And in addition to that, if you're not a divorced dad and you're a business owner or you're trying to be a better dad, you need help. You cannot get to the level you want to get on your own. If you could, your podcast and your YouTube videos would work. And I'm all for podcasts and YouTube videos. I send them out. I share them. I give people something that gets their brain going. But it takes more than that. Awareness is number one. They don't know what they don't know. And they don't know why. They don't know what they do. They don't know why they do what they do, right? And so ultimately, awareness is humility. This is the reason why dads blow it. They're just not humble enough to ask for help. It's the whole thing of dads driving around not asking for directions. The same thing. They don't want to look stupid. They don't want to look like a fool. They've heard their whole life, figure it out. You got to figure it out. You got to figure it out. Great. What if figuring it out was just asking somebody who's already done it? Why would you not do that? Let's take it into school. If you were in a class, and I remember in college, first year of college, I had no idea what was going on. No clue. School was not my thing. But you know what I did? I found the cutest girl and the smartest girl. And I sat down and I said, I need help. Can you please help me get a B in this class? What do I need to know? What do I need to study on? What do I need to do? Boom. Guess what? Got a B. No problem. Why? Because I asked for help. Because I asked for what I was aware to my problem. What was my problem? I needed help. I couldn't do this on my own. Dads, what's the problem? You need help, man. You don't have the time to figure it out on your own. So you're going to need help. You're going to need to use the resources that you have to invest into your future. Here's something you need to ask. What do I do when I feel overwhelmed? This is awareness. What pattern keeps repeating since the divorce? Awareness. You can't change what you refuse to name. So my buddy Chatty, when he wanted to lose weight, he became aware. He looked at his body. He said, I'm sick and tired of looking like this. I don't want to be fat. I don't like how I feel. I don't want to drink this much. I don't want to eat this much. This is a problem. I'm aware to it, which brings us into acceptance. Number 2 is A. I talk about acceptance like this. It's in line with Jocko. So if you love Jocko, you'll love acceptance. Acceptance is not just saying, oh, this is who I am and how I am. No, acceptance is ownership. Ownership of the problem. The problem is, for my buddy Chatty, I'm overweight. I have a problem. I accept that this is where I'm at. I accept that these decisions brought me to this point. So for you in your life, in your finances, whatever it might be, you have to accept, hey, my decisions brought me to this point. Accept it. Take ownership, full ownership all the way in. This is where I am. This pattern is mine to own. This is a few things what it sounds like. Blame won't save me, right? Fighting reality increases suffering. Accepting reality increases agency. You need to say, boom, this is the guy. Here I am. I'm not where I want to be, but I accept, I own where I'm at. And this brings us to number 3. Number 3 in the gates of change is accountability. And you have to get 1, 2, and 3 to down. You have to get these complete before you go to number 4. So number 3 is accountability. So when I talked to my buddy Chatty about what he was doing to lose the 40 pounds plus, he told me the workout. He's like, they gave me the workout. They told me what to eat every day. And I said, great. And I knew what he was eating. I knew what he was working out. I said, great. I said, well, what was it then? He goes, well, 2 things. One, he goes, I paid him $4,000. So he goes, I was in. Like, I needed to make this work. My money was on the line. This wasn't just something I was trying. I was committed. I said, okay, what else did you do? He goes, every week I had to get accountable with my coach, and he had to tell me and look through what I was doing. I had to get accountable to what I was eating, tracking, workouts, calories. I got accountable, and he would tell me when I would make excuses to stop making excuses. He got accountable. Number 3 is accountability. Accountability, again, gateway drug to freedom. If you actually want to change, you have to get accountable. Now, an easy way or a simple way, obviously, when guys come and work with me one-on-one, the reason why they have so much success is accountability. Many of you will know these systems. You'll know what to do. But the reality is you don't have somebody that's accountable on your butt to ensure that you are doing it. Accountability, you'll see it work in every area of your life that you're accountable in. Your bank is one of the best lessons of accountability. If you don't have money in the bank, you can't spend any money. If you are not accountable to what you're doing, you will not get results. It's that simple. No one is coming to rescue your future, right? Kids don't need explanations. They need consistency. And so your accountability in what you're doing ensures what you do and ensures that you build a legacy for your kids. That's what accountability does. And it's hard. I've got guys where they would give me their codes and their passwords on their phone because they were looking at porn. I said, great, let's get accountable, dude. I guarantee you this will stop. 7 days later, 14 days later, 21 days later, 3 months later, 6 months later, no porn. Why? Accountable. I was now able to see everything that they were looking at online. And their life was transformed. They had more energy, less guilt, less shame, no shame. They were joy, in peace, happy, excited, building their life. Why? Got accountable. Another client of mine, when we got into the accountability piece, they were dealing with alcohol and women. Those were the two things, their two enemies that came up the most for them. I said, great, dude. Awesome. We're aware to it, right? You're accepting, you're owning that this is a problem. Awesome. Step 1. Step 2. Step 3, accountable. He gets accountable. Every week we check in. What's this look like? Where were you attacked? What's going on? All of these things. Okay. And then number 4, let's get into the fourth piece. This is where you start running. When you got awareness, acceptance, and accountability, where it's real accountability, not some BS. Oh, hey, dude, how you doing? No. If that worked, it would have worked already. It's not working, brothers. I'm telling you. And a lot of guys will be like, oh, I've got a men's group. You know what? The reality is you don't want to pay for your future. You want to try and get it for free. And you know why I'm saying that? Because that was what I did. I would use whatever tactic I could to not spend money on my life, on my development, and on my future. That's plain and simple. You try to get it in all these other avenues. The reality is the best money you will ever put on anything is on you, and you know it. The problem is you don't believe in yourself enough to think that it'll work, and that's where you're wrong. That's where the identity shift comes into play. And you have to say, you know what? This is my story. This is my life. And I'm going to show my kids what the heck this is supposed to look like. All in, balls to the wall, no excuses. Number 4 is action. You can't do awareness, acceptance, and accountability. You can't just skip that and go to action. So, for example, most people will, ask their friend who lost weight, what did you do? What was the action that you did? We all know the action. Stop eating sugar. Stop eating bread. Go to the gym. Take more steps. Stop eating late at night. No alcohol. No drugs. We know the action. But now when you get awareness, acceptance, and accountability, now we have the guardrails in place for action. So what is action? For many guys, change is boring because it's consistency. So the action is now consistent. Repetition rewires identity, right? So you're now wired into the change that you want. You want to be a better dad. Well, whenever guys say they want to be a better dad, you better know exactly what a better dad looks like. I want to have 3 days a week with my kids for an hour. I want to sit down and have my phone off. I want to be present with them. I want to take them on dates every other week. I want to take time to read with them, right? Those are some things in dad life. I want to be a better dad. That's specific of a dad. Then the actions follow. Then you start to get accountable with somebody. You're aware, you own it, right? You can see the system in place. What about revenue? I've got guys that come up to me in the group and they say they want to make more money. Great, awesome. Okay. What are you aware to? I'm aware that I'm spending too much. I'm aware that I'm not doing anything to create more revenue. Okay, do you own it? Yes, I own it. I'm broke. I'm missing it. I need to know. I don't know. I'm humble enough to ask. I need help. Great. Who are you accountable to? Nobody. I have guys say, I'm accountable to me. Well, here's the problem with being accountable to me. The problem with that is that the easiest person to lie to is yourself. And we love being lied to. So we believe the story. We believe the excuses. I'm accountable to me. Flush it down the toilet. Get accountable to somebody that is going to rip you apart into the man that you need to be. And when you do that, you will see the fastest accelerated growth of your life. Just like my buddy Chatty, the moment he had to document everything, the moment his life changed. Just like this other client of mine, Luke, that was dealing with porn. It's not his real name, but we'll call him Luke. The moment he got accountable, porn was out the window. Another client of mine, Rick, not his real name. The moment he got accountable to alcohol and to women, it walked out. His life transformed. Your accountability will lead you into the action. It will give you the guardrails. Okay. So here's a quick fast system of what we're talking about. What does this look like? Drill down. Gates of change in the fast system. Here's a few questions. Which gate are you stuck at? Is it awareness? Is it accountability? Is it ownership? Or is it action? Which one are you stuck at? What's the focus? F is focus. What's the focus there? 2, awareness. Name the pattern honestly. What is the pattern? Name it. What are you dealing with? Get it out to where you can dissect it. You can destroy it. You can analyze it. S is strategy and systems. What's one daily behavior aligned with the gate that you need to change? What's one thing you need to do? Transformation. Identity follows repetition. Consistency. Consistency wins championships. Consistently good. You hear the saying a lot of times, practice makes perfect. Not true. Not true. Perfect practice makes perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. You've got to practice how you play. So another way to say this is that I heard Dion say this recently. He said, I practiced like I was in the game. I practiced how I played so that when I played, it felt like practice. That's what we're going for here, dads. Your repetitions are not difficult because you put so much intention, energy, focus, accountability in what it is. And it's just who you are. Let me give you 2 scriptures and a final question to drop this off your way. Luke 16:10 is about being faithful in the small things so that you can be rulers over much. Say, I want to be rulers over much. I want to make more money. I want to have bigger things, greater things for my kids. I want to do more. I want to have more time and more present with them. Great. You got 30 minutes with your kids to be present and powerful. Are you faithful in those small duties? Are you faithful with getting up, having your time, spiritual time with the Lord? Are you faithful with time with your mind? I talk to you guys about your declarations, your affirmations. Are you faithful? Most times, probably 9 out of 10 guys, they're not faithful with what they're saying with their mouth. They don't even know what they're saying with their mouth. They're not faithful. When you're faithful with the small, you become rulers over much. James 1:22 says it like this, that you are doers of the word and not hearers only, right? So that it's like you looking into the mirror and forgetting what you look like. We want you to be doers, not watchers, not hearers, right? Not armchair quarterbacks, not obese mindsets where you're just consuming so much because it makes you feel good. But then it makes you feel bad because you're not doing what you know you need to do. So here's a practical guide, a quick audit, a little tool that you can do this week. If you write the numbers down 1 to 5, right? Write down 1 to 5 and ask yourself this question. Which gate am I currently stuck at? Which one? In this case, write 1 to 4 because there's 4 gates. 4 gates. Which one am I stuck at? Then write one sentence explaining why you are stuck there. Why are you stuck at that gate, man? What's the real reason why you're stuck? And then I want you to choose one behavior that moves you forward to the next gate. What's one behavior you need to do, man? Do you need to get more awareness? Do you need to really understand what it is? Or do you need to get, I think most people are at accountability. They need to get freaking accountable to what it is they need to change. Here's a few questions. Which of the gates are you avoiding and why? Man, I keep hitting on it, but I'm just telling you guys, the accountability piece is the most vulnerable piece. It is the hardest piece. When guys come on the call, and there's sometimes they'll be like, I'm really embarrassed to share this, but I look at porn. And I'm like, who doesn't? Like, we all think that we're the only one that's dealing with this issue. Or, I've been drinking too much. Who hasn't? I've been smoking too much weed. I probably would too. Awesome. Get it out there, man. If you want you want to get on the rocket ship, get it out. Your life will transform. Next question. What story do I tell myself to stay stuck? One of the stories that I would tell myself to stay stuck would be, I'm going through it. It's really hard. I deserve this. That was an easy one for me. It's hard. I'm going through this. Nobody knows how hard it is. This is the worst, most difficult thing in my life. I deserve this. I deserve this excuse. I deserve to doom scroll. I deserve to porn. I deserve whatever it is. Third question. What would change if I treated accountability as strength? Man, just think about that. What would change, man? What would change? It's simple as that. Men who tie behavior to who they are becoming persist longer. Men who tie behavior to who they are becoming persist longer. Got to know that. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your systems. Again, if this framework gave you clarity today, share it with this episode with one dad, man. One click, just boom, subscribe. Let this thing fly and soar to 1 million divorced dads to transform them and their kids, man. Do that one thing. Pay it forward. Leave a review. Just say, yo, I'm in. Like, this is what I need. Let's transform yourself, your children, and all these other dads that are just fighting for their lives, man. If you're not in the Ascent group, systems, frameworks, the whole thing, get in there. It's free. Start there. Do something. If you're not following us on Instagram, Divorced Dads of America, do it. I don't post garbage. I post transformation every single day, man. I don't play games with this. I believe in your future. I believe you can do it, man. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. God bless you.